Sometimes we go out into the world minding our own business, and despite our best efforts, end up with a full-ass ninja stuck inside us. But every pitfall is a chance to become a better, more well-rounded person. Let's see how Christy builds off her experiences as we open in a beautiful sandstone wilderness as a gorgeous little Toyota Corolla pulls off the road for a pisser. A dapper man in all white ventures out so he may, we presume, meet his destiny. He diddles a rock face with the same care one would make love to a woman, and it opens itself to him, revealing an underlit cache of mystical weapons. He then draws his katana with the same care one would make love to a woman, and then gears himself up in a fashion both epic and reverent. He eventually emerges from this dank hole born anew and continues venturing toward his destiny, which may reside at the golf course. On this fine morning, we find Elder Brody shanking the shit out of a ball. His personal security attempts to find it to place it in a more favorable position. The Black Ninja appears and leverages this opportunity to demonstrate his power. And while impressive, a pack of balls is expensive, and so an orgy of death, destruction, and ultimate skill commences. Not even the presumably innocent are safe from the wanton killing and maiming. The cops are called in to respond to a possible 451.
All West Side units, possible 451 at Municipal Golf Course.
Mass ninja assassination on private property. They are immediately on the trail of the ninja as he has chosen to stick to the known paths in an attempt to confuse his enemy. But he can afford this because of his lithe body and the slippery manner by which he traverses open ground. Plus, they were chasing him, but he's soon straight up murdering his pursuers. Sticking with this theme, the gun copter soon rotors in, thinking they're about to make the final statement on this matter. But as they scan for him amid the brush, he's come to meet them where they're at, the open air above the tree line. He quickly neutralizes their advantage and puts on a straight-up clinic for all the golfers who came out that morning. Eventually, the law of large numbers comes into effect and they're able to surround him and gun him down like a dog. But not before he takes out about 24 more of their ranks. Of course, these professional amateurs violate all sorts of rules recommending you maintain a perimeter that puts you outside the slash zone while also avoiding multi-crossfire situations when possible, so you don't shoot your coworkers. This is a dark day, but the survivors must feel awfully special, at least those that are left after another burst of murderous energy. He then disappears in a puff of smoke, leaving behind nary more than a raggedy pair of chones. Of course, this is just in service of Rule 73. Never let them abscond with your beautiful corpse, if you can manage it. We then catch up with Christy, girl bossing the shit out of this pole and running lines from Ma Bell like a true blue-collar baddie. She likes to use her vantage point to observe the world beneath her, and on this beautiful day, she happens to catch sight of an injured ninja stumbling toward his late model sedan. Again, she approaches him to see if he's amenable to her offering whatever help or comfort she's able, but he responds a bit aggressively for them not really being acquainted. Christy manages to break free but realizes that this had to be some sort of cosmic misunderstanding as he pleads with her to take up the sword. She becomes mesmerized by the crispness of his eyeliner, and as he seemingly passes on, some sort of tingling sensation crashes and waves through her body, likely originating from the butthole. Her recounting of the events to the lead detective indicates that she doesn't remember the details of what transpired, so she has very little info to give, and we have very little indication of what's going on with her. Officer Billy tries to help put her at ease.
Thanks, but I don't use soft drinks.
But she's a real stickler for health. And also, in case you didn't realize, soft drinks are a means to an end, apparently. Part of offering comfort involves taking the aggrieved out on a date, but she has a vague recollection of him being present at her violent death, an odd sensation, so she rebuffs his advances. However professional they may— no, never mind. Something to know about Christy is that she works hard and she plays hard. After declining to offer any context on her new sword, she and a girlfriend go to sweat it out at her dance aerobics class. We come to learn why women women-only spaces are so important as the girls try to work on their fitness, while a gym full of meatheads leers at them and very nearly ejaculate en masse. Billy shows up here to try to impress her and show he's game for anything, but all he really does is demonstrate that there are some things the bulky male body are just not cut out for. She rejects him again, but you can tell that he's wearing her down a little. Everyone likes to hang out in the alley behind the gym, and when Christy goes to check out the scene, she hears sounds of distress. Sure enough, a handful of limp dicks who missed out earlier on blasting in their shorts are looking for some gratification, and they're not appreciative of Christy breaking up their good times. Crazed with lustful desires, they attempt to get down in full view of the general public, but Christy goes into a fugue state and then shows that she has all sorts of split and scissor kick variations at her disposal. She also has access to a large steel beam, which she uses to put these turds in the trash where they belong. Unfortunately,
you're under arrest.
It's against the law to do an officer's job once they've elected not to do it themselves. That's union rules. Billy uses the circumstances to continue to pressure her to trying to like him. And when she continues to give him a hard time, he absolutely loses it.
Would you like to take me home?
Proving Rule 615. Women love angry, aggressive men. She puts any doubts that she has turned all the way around on him to rest by leaving no question of her intent. She even allows him the privilege of licking some V8 off her chest as foreplay, and that's top-tier foreplay for this era, whilst wallowing in the stink of the now rancid tomato juice-based nutrition drink. An ethereal breeze rolls in. A mystical fog emanates from her closet, drawing her closer, calling her toward the magical blade, which is now an extension of her body and pretty much confirms that she's got a ninja inside her. What a sight to behold! But totally missed by Billy. The next day, we find Yamada and his inconspicuous eye patch arriving at the airport fresh from Japan. Meanwhile, Christy's in a hole when Billy rolls up just to give his honey a little kiss. But his visit induces some partner-imposed PTSD from when the party riding along with her died. To the consternation of her partner, she immediately jets off to reconcile an unusual impulse that's taken over her body. But in fairness, the sign does say men working. She follows them to Case's home and then goes to her own home where she can attempt to dance out these strange feelings. But her arcade cab has other ideas and is soon shooting all over her face, inundating her skin with ninjatic prisms and tantalizing her fingers with the vibrating blade, eventually inducing a state of full ninja. Now imbued with the wisdom of the ancients, she finds the replenishing stone where is stored all of the tools of her trade. She takes to this immediately, demonstrating a preternatural inclination towards sneakiness. She approaches Case, who, thankfully for us, has put Rule 174 to good effect. Always wear briefs under boxers so your dick doesn't pop out of that little hole. It becomes apparent very quickly that he has absolutely no chance of surviving this. In the aftermath, Yamada is conspicuously present at the scene, until he is not. At her apartment, Christy confides in Billy that she seems to be able to sense when things are going to happen, and is covered in unexplained wounds.
There's somebody making me do things.
Well, then do something about it.
Billy, I don't know what to do.
Very confusing and scratchy times we find ourselves in. Living in a fantasy world we'll never know, she goes in for a full-body diagnostic MRI, and everything's in tip-top condition. She just has exceptional ESP and a preoccupation with Japanese culture, both legitimate diagnoses from your physician, in case you were wondering. She goes to share the good news with Billy, but runs across one of those playboy beat cops, like the one that killed her, and her insides take over once again. She follows them into the local bathhouse and reveals herself as the queen seductress. The ladies aren't really vibing with this, but the officer wants to give this a chance to see how it plays out. She employs the ultimate ninja technique. Tongue down your target so you may prick him with poison, and then kill these innocent bitches for judging you. Somehow, Yamada is first on scene, and he wastes no time digging into the evidence and likely leaving a bit of his own. He kinda looks like he wants to lick it. When Billy gets home later, she's continuing to make attempts to work out those demons. Turns out she's a little freaked about all the lost time she's experiencing. With few options available to them and using some connections through work, Billy takes them to the Mystic District to seek the counsel of a wizened old man. Billy slips the guy a wad of cash because this isn't a charity and they restrain her bodily in case the spirit takes over. She accepts a hit of that good stuff into her ultra-fit body, and it doesn't take long for the spirit to reveal itself. Miyashimi's first instinct is just to give in to anything it wants, but this violates Rule 291. Don't give in to evil spirits too soon. Episodes often pass by quickly. See, he seems mostly satisfied with doing some flips. We finally get some confirmation. And with that, we add,
only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Explaining the rest of it and showing that they're in a pretty bad spot. I mean, who among them is a legit ninja? We then find Yamada hanging out outside the X-ray facility. He may be a ninja, but it's hard to tell since he uses non-lethal attacks in broad daylight with easily identifiable character traits visible at all times. Since this is where they X-ray dead bodies, he finds the black ninja in a cooler. Flashback shows he is responsible for killing Yamada's master and putting his eye out, likely wanting the body to do revenge stuff to it. Yamada steals away to a nearby pagoda with the corpse packed up in his El Camino. Definite ninja-like behavior. At the station, Christy looks like absolute death, but Billy plays it coy about what he witnessed since these events wipe her memory. When she gets back home, a new supernatural uprising raises a couple of questions.
No, you don't. Not again.
First off, I thought she had no memory of prior occurrences. Secondly, her actions imply that you can stop a vengeful spirit by simply closing a door or dancing out the demons. You just have to be persistent, and that's Rule 85. Dancing out the demons requires persistence. Given how this movie opened, we assume it's been non-stop funerals for the officers. As a result, Billy can't be bothered to try harder than a plaid shirt with the sleeves tastefully rolled up in mourning. He finds Christy's van and gets a sneaking suspicion that something is off, and so he keeps his head on a swivel. But she's up in the trees, and as they 21-gun salute their fallen comrade, she gives them a reason to mourn. More dead friends and co-workers. Following a familiar pattern here, she lays waste to anyone who dares to interfere with her deadly agenda. Finally, Yamada gets within tracking distance of the spirit of his enemy, and attempts to find a pathway in where he's not at risk of taking a pig sticker to his good eye. Being evenly matched, the pursuant fight mostly just puts them at risk of eventual asbestos poisoning. With no end in sight, Christy cuts her losses and dips out the window, leaving Yamada to take all the blame for vandalizing a construction site. Billy tries to make sense of what's going on here. After all that effort to get Christy to give him a chance, he just knows she couldn't be a mass murderer. When they have a private moment, Yamada confirms that he's correct and encourages him to get her and her sword to the temple at the top of the hill. He'll meet them there after escaping by putting his captors to sleep. A dangerous proposition in a moving car with live guns. Billy's scared, but determined to save his love, even if that means killing her. Not willing to take unnecessary risks on this one, he goes in with gun drawn. A very confusing situation. Luckily for her, the spirit of the Black Ninja helps to clarify things. Luckily for him, the overriding power of love stays her hand. Christy takes off and Billy gives chase but eventually curbs his car. Unwilling to risk putting a second wheel out of round, he proceeds from here on foot. As luck would have it, they're all converging on that quaint little hilltop temple for some reason. Upon arrival, Christy enters into a fairly surreal situation, possessed by the spirit of a ninja, now mourning at the bedside of her other self's corpse. Yamada confronts them here, and after only a mild defeat, the Black Ninja elects to vacate his feminine form and reconstitute inside his partially decomposed vessel. Now at full power, an epic battle ensues. They both leverage their full capabilities, but this tricky bitch starts employing magic, turning the calm monks of the temple against Yamada. He leverages a plethora of non-lethal measures and then gives chase into the mountains. When Billy finally arrives, he finds Christy now, for the first time, without another man inside her. He is relieved, but things feel different now for him, but he's not sure why. At any rate, their story is essentially over at this point. However, Billy has some sense of loyalty toward Yamada, so they go to see what he can do to assist with his revenge. Turns out, not much, and that's fair, for he is no ninja. So they kick back and just enjoy an exhibition of peak ninjutsu, up until...
Christy, no!
Christy might have a lingering bit of ninja in her after all, but probably not, because Yamada still needs to drive a dagger through his soft spot in order to finally and formally put him down. For good. It's always encouraging to see a positive outcome. It helps me feel optimistic that even though I was involved in an incident where a ninja came inside me, everything's probably going to be okay. Let me know what you took away from this, and be sure to check out this video to gain a better understanding of the world around you. And now that we're here, I wanted to congratulate you for making it to the end of the video and affirm that you are a very special person because of it. If you enjoyed the video, I would love for you to become part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.